I just felt like recording a devotion tonight, and today I thought I would just share with you something from Matthew's chapter 14, verses 13 onwards. When Jesus heard of it, he departed thence by ship into a desert place apart, and when the people had heard it thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude, and was moved with compassion towards them, and he healed them, their sick. And when it was evening, his disciples came to him, saying, This is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitudes away, that they may go into the villages, and buy themselves victuals. Jesus said unto them, They need not depart. Give ye them to eat. But they say unto him, We have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He said, Bring them hither to me. And he commanded the multitude to sit on the grass, took the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and brake, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did all eat and were filled. And they took up of the fragrance, and remained 12 baskets full. And they that had eaten were about 5,000 men, beside women and children. This is a very common incident that's been quoted in most of the Gospels, but it gives us a very clear understanding of what Jesus' ministry is all about. And when we become yoked onto Jesus and we take on his ministry, we understand the principle of resources and principle of what we are called to do. Very clearly here, Jesus, first of all, I always am very fascinated by this. Something one of my seniors, Dr. KV, told me. He always told me that the one way of just getting an integrity check on whether you're in the right place at the right time and you're doing what you are supposed to do as a Christian is to know whether people who are in need are coming to you or not. So here we see very clearly that wherever Jesus went, people who were in need, the sick, the desperate ones, the sick, the tired, though they were tired, they followed Jesus. They kept following him even on foot out of the cities. Wherever Jesus went, there was a crowd following him. And this was not an ordinary crowd. These were crowds of people who were in different kind of needs. And they somehow saw Jesus as the point from where the fulfillment would come. So, what Dr. KV was telling us was that is one way of knowing if the poor are coming to you, if the wretched are coming to you, if the sick are coming to you for help, that means you are at the right place, because that's how the trend went with Jesus. And here we see that people have followed Jesus, and it's evening, and the disciples think now they will need to eat, so they should be sent away to fend for themselves for the food. But Jesus very clearly says, "Why do you want to send them away? Just make sure that you feed them before you send them away." Jesus understands the need of the people, and he's concerned about them. And then the disciples said, "But we don't have anything." They just see what is there in their hands, and it's just 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread. And there are so many people there. The crowd is huge. But what Jesus says is, "Bring them hither to me." And he commanded the multitudes to sit down on the grass, and took the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and brake, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitudes. What an amazing example of how Christian ministry is done. I was just sharing with now when I look back into the times when we were working in the missions, I get fascinated to think that though we at that time were quite immature and used to think that we were the ones doing all the work, but now when I think of it, I find it so strange that there used to be, I don't know how many families in the missions in the compound who were dependent on the hospital for their daily living. And there was a hospital where there were more than 144 families. There was a hospital where there were 75 families. And all these family members who were working in the hospital had to be paid their salary. And we had to look after the children's education. We had to look after their health. And there were various other funds they were supposed to get. And we were just few people working there in those hospitals. All of us were working, but then it all depended on the number of patients who used to come. And mission hospitals, as you know, are we cannot overcharge a patient. So we used to. Now when I think of it, I can't even imagine how we were fending. We were able to pay the salaries of so many families, and we grew together in that community, and we worked together. And I don't even know how it is possible, but I didn't see anybody starving or anybody struggling as such. And the only thing we had was day and night. We knew how to pray. We knew how to ask the Lord for things, and to different trials the Lord brought us through. And now when I look back, it looks so strange, because I can't even imagine how it was possible. But then it was this principle which was actually, I think, operational, where even 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread were enough to feed the 5,000 men. And then there were children and women as well. Can you imagine? But then what Jesus did was he blessed the food, and he broke it, and he gave the loaves to his disciples. When I was visiting one of these hospitals in Bihar, and then one day when I just walked, the first day when I just walked into the hospital premises, I was aghast to see the crowd of people that were milling across the lawn, waiting to be seen, admitted, had undergone surgeries, had undergone treatments. The were in the neonatal ICU. The ICU was full. The labor room was full. The wards were full. They were milling out from every nook and corner. And then suddenly, this scenario came to my mind of Jesus breaking the bread to feed the multitudes. And when I looked at it, the manpower per se was so short, but the multitudes that were being fed and were satisfied was amazingly large. And I just thought that's how the Lord does his ministry. He takes the little that we have as we are, and when we hand it over to the Lord, he blesses it, he breaks it, and he uses it to satisfy the multitudes. So the Lord is calling us to that obedience, to trust the Lord with what we have and give it to him so that he can bless it, give it back to us, and we can give it, feed the multitudes with it. May the Lord help us to do this season and in the coming seasons, as people who are called out to work with him, alongside him, and yet not work, because it's the Holy Spirit who does the work for us. May the Lord bless us for his words. आजको मननको लागि जो मैले लिएको छु त्यो म लुका नै म्याथ्यूबाट मैले लिएको छु, जो यीशु मसीहले रोटी तोडेर जसरी 5000 मान्छेहरूलाई मात्र, अरू त्यसको अलावा औरतहरू थियो, नानीहरू थियो, उनीहरूलाई खिलायो। त्यति बेला भनिन्छ कि जब यीशु मसीह जान्दै थियो, जहाँ जहाँ जान्थ्यो त्यहाँ भिड उहाँसँग पछ्याउँदै जान्थ्यो र उहाँलाई निको पार्थ्यो, बिमारीहरूलाई निको पार्थ्यो। अलग अलग कष्टबाट जाँदै गरेको मनुष्यहरूले यीशु मसीहको पछि लाग्थ्यो, किनभने उनीहरूलाई याद थियो कि सबै चिजको स्रोत चाहिँ यीशु मसीहमा छ भनेर। अन्त मैले यो पढ्दै गर्दा मलाई याद आयो कि मेरो एउटा सिनियर डाक्टर कुरुबेला वार्कीले जहिले पनि भन्थ्यो, क्रिस्चियन मिसनमा जब हामी हिँड्दैछौँ तब कब चाहिँ हामीले जान्छौँ कि हामी सही रास्तामा हिँड्दैछ भन्दा चाहिँ जब गरिब, दुःखी, दरिद्र, बिमारीहरू तिम्रोमा आउँछ तब जान्नु कि हामी चाहिँ सही दिशामा जाँदैछ भनेर। अन्त त्यति बेला त्यो याद आयो। यहाँ पनि हामी देख्छौँ कि जहाँ जहाँ यीशु मसीह जान्छ, जहिले पनि जो कष्टमा परेको मनुष्यहरू उसको पछि पछि लागेको देख्छ। अर्को चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने जब बेलुकी हुन थाल्छ तब उहाँको चेलाहरू आएर भन्छ कि अब निकै बेलुका भइसक्यो, अब यो सबै भिडलाई हामी पठाउँछौँ, किनभने उनीहरूलाई पनि गाउँतिर गएर आफ्नो खानाको लागि बन्दोबस्त गरोस् भनेर। तब यीशु मसीहले भन्छ, किन चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई पठाउँछ, तिमीहरूले नै उनीहरूलाई खाना खिलाऊ। र त्यति बेला त्यो चेलाहरूले भन्छ, हामी कसरी खाना खिलाउन सक्छ, हाम्रो त बस 5 रोटी र 2 माछा मात्रै छ। तब यीशु मसीहले भन्छ, त्यो मेरोमा ल्याऊ, र उसले त्यो सबै भिडलाई त्यो घाँसमा चाउरमा बस्नु लाउँछ, र त्यो 5 रोटी र 2 माछाले उसले अब आकाशतिर हेरेर उहाँले त्यसलाई आशिष दिनुहुन्छ, त्यसलाई तोड्नुहुन्छ र चेलाहरूलाई खाना खिलाउनुहुन्छ। चेलाहरूलाई त्यो दिनुहुन्छ र चेलाहरूले गएर त्यो भिडलाई दिन्छ, र सबैजनाले खाएर पनि 12वटा बास्केट अझै पनि रह्यो भन्छ। अनि त्यति बेला भन्छ कि 5000 त पुरुष मात्र थियो भन्छ, अझै आइमे र नानीहरू पनि थियो भनेर। एउटा प्रिन्सिपल यो मिसन वर्कमा गर्दाखेरि एउटा खास प्रिन्सिपल यसले एकदम स्पष्ट तरिकाले देखाउँछ। पहिला हामी मिसन हस्पिटलमा हामी कामहरू गर्दा हामी छक्कै पर्थ्यो, हामी पुरा कष्ट, हामी सोच्थ्यौँ कि हामीले नै भार बोकेर हिँड्दैछ भनेर। 150, 140, 75 परिवारलाई हामीले पाल्न पर्थ्यो। एकतिर थियो गरिब पेसेन्टहरूलाई बेसी पैसा लिन पनि सक्दैन, कहीँबाट सहायता आउँदैन थियो स्यालेरीहरूको लागि, र अर्को साइडमा हामीले यो 75 फ्यामिली, 150 फ्यामिलीलाई तनखा त दिनै पर्थ्यो। त्यसको अलावामा नानीहरूको पढाइको अलग, किताबको अलग, त्यहाँदेखि हेल्थ सबै कभर गर्नु पर्थ्यो। अरू पनि धेरै उनीहरूले पाउनुपर्ने चिजहरू थियो, प्रोभिडेन्ट फन्ड थियो, सबै चिजमा पढाउनु पर्थ्यो।
हामी त्यति बेला त हामी नजानेकोले होला सायद हामी स्ट्रगल पनि गर्थ्यौँ हामी, तर जसरी पुग्थ्यो अहिले सोच्दाखेरि अचम्म लाग्छ कसरी हामीले गर्न सक्यो होला भनेर। तर यही प्रिन्सिपल सायद चल्दै थियो र हामी अज्ञानी मान्छेहरूले हामीले बुझेको पनि थिएन कि हामी निर्धक्क भएर यीशु मसीहमा हामी रेस्ट गरेर हामी आफ्नो काम दिनमा दिएको काम गर्दै गर्दै जाँदाखेरि हामी त्यति साह्रो स्ट्रेस भोग्नुपर्ने थिएन होला सायद, तर हामी जान्दैनथ्यौँ, त्यस कारणले हामी गऱ्यौँ। तर अहिले फर्केर हेर्दा कसरी गऱ्यो होला जस्तो लाग्छ। एक दिन म बिहारमा यसरी नै एउटा मिसन हस्पिटलमा गएको थिएँ। त्यति बेला जाँदाखेरि मैले यसो गरेर हेर्दाखेरि फर्स्ट डेमा यसो गरेर हेर्दाखेरि त सब जग्गाबाट मनुष्यहरू, एकदमै बिरामी मनुष्यहरू चौरमा बसिरहेको थियो, पर्खिरहेको थियो। अपरेसनको वार्ड त्यत्तिकै फुल थियो, डेलिभरीको वार्ड त्यत्तिकै फुल थियो, नानीहरूको आइसियु त्यत्तिकै फुल थियो, अर्को एडल्टहरूको आइसियु त्यत्तिकै फुल थियो। त्यो बिहार जस्तो सुक्खा जग्गामा, त्यो जग्गामा यति साह्रो एउटा जीवन देखेर बहिरहेको थियो। त्यति बेला मलाई सडनली त्यही यीशु मसीहले रोटी 2टा माछा र 5वटा रोटी लिएर कसरी त्यो 5,000लाई खिलायो, त्यही दृष्टान्त